Step into the vast expanse of history and witness the awe-inspiring scale and unparalleled might of the Mongol army. Known for their legendary conquests and unparalleled military tactics, the Mongols forged an empire that stretched across continents. From the thundering hooves of their cavalry to the precision of their strategic maneuvers, the Mongol hordes reshaped the course of history. Join us as we delve into the true size and formidable prowess of this relentless force, exploring the intricacies of their organization, tactics, and the sheer magnitude of their military might. The Mongol soldier. Early Mongol armies were mostly tribal members who fought as horse archers or lancers. The best warriors became warlords keshik, or personal guards. During Temujin's early reign, few hundred keshik existed. As Temujin founded the Mongol Empire, he transformed steppe warfare. Temujin's violent unification battles absorbed neighboring steppe tribes, the first big change. The 1206 Kurultai ceremony crowned Temujin Genghis Khan, the leader of the unified tribes. These tribes were Merkits, Khitans, Kyrgyz, Karaits, Naimans, Tatars, Uyghurs, Oirat, and Buryat. The Kamluk Mongol Ulas, previously warring tribes, were now one. Outsiders would call them Mongols. This oversimplification leaves out vital details. This narrative will portray the newly unified steppe forces, despite being from numerous tribes, as Mongol-like. These steppe people were an important manpower resource under Genghis Khan, and his military reforms boosted recruitment and equipment. Like the Xiongnu and Turks, all able-bodied men aged 15 to 60 may join the military. In 1267, 2 to 3 man households had to supply 1 soldier, 4 to 5 men 2, and 6 to 7 men 3, according to post-unification sources. Mongol conscripts carried their own mounts and baggage. His immediate boss compensated soldiers without equipment. Liao Shai, a 13th century Chinese history book under the Mongol-led Yuan dynasty, contains a complete reference list of Khitan army equipment, which undoubtedly evolved over time. This may represent military expectations. The ideal steppe warrior carried 9 iron armor pieces, 4 composite bows with 400 arrows, a long and short spear, a club, an axe, and a halberd. A small banner, hammer, knife, flint, and food were also required. Men brought their own horses. 3 horses were required, but some had 18. Our model anticipates 6 rider remounts. In rotation, the Mongol army used these horses for movement and food. The non-Mongol soldier. Non-nomadic forces, known as cheruks, were typically not integrated into the main steppe army, but used as garrison forces and auxiliary units in sieges. The first cheruks likely originated from deserting Jin troops during the Mongol conquest of China, forming the High Chun, or Black Army, responsible for holding conquered territories. As they grew too large, the High Chun was reorganized into the Sin Chun, or New Army. The Mongol military structure and purpose were solidified at the Kurultai, a gathering of tribal leaders where khans were elected, commanders appointed, and campaigns planned. These assemblies also featured extensive festivities. Following the Kurultai, the Mongol army would mobilize for war. Arban, 10 men. The Mongol army operated under a decimal system, with the smallest unit being the Arban, consisting of 10 men led by an Arbanu Noyad. Each Arban typically included 6 horse archers and 4 light lancers, with each man bringing around 6 remounts, totaling approximately 60 horses, mostly mares. Additionally, each Arban had other animals, including 3 sheep and a camel, often herded with the assistance of 1 Bankar dog. The unit shared a single yurt or dur, which could be dismantled and transported on a leal cart. This high number of animals played a crucial role in keeping the Mongol army supplied in the field, as much of their diet was dairy-based. Mares produced several quarts of milk daily, consumed in both liquid and dried forms, such as kumis, a fermented milk drink, and kurut, a dried. Jagun, 100 men. Collectively, the order was 10 Arbans, 60 horse archers, and 40 light lancers. A Jagun lord led these warriors. Jagun stole 600 horses, 30 sheep, 10 camels, 10 dogs, and 10 carts. 10 conventional camp Jurds housed soldiers. Mongol gear and support differed greatly from the Imperial Roman century. Due to their large herds, Mongol armies need more hay and water despite having the same number of men. Mongol combat machines may use pasturage. Without these supplies, Mongols marched or returned to the steppe, Private Javan scouts, or those in the vanguard frontline scouts, traveled 30 to 75 kilometers. They cleared farmland and found supplies before soldiers came. In peacetime, the Alginate-controlled Mongol armies were too large to leave the steppe. They scouted new regions and warned the army when a bitter opponent endangered the Khan's control, requiring more troops. Mingan, 1,000 men, from 10 Jagun, the Mingan Noyad, led 1,000 riders, 600 archers, and 400 lancers. War hosts of Mingan chieftains joined the steppe army. Every Mingan sent 6,000 horses, 300 sheep, 100 camels, 100 hounds, and 100 carts in 100 regular jurs and a wagon gur for the commander and retinue. Like nomad tribes, these social military units included women, children, and elders. Mingat, a steppe border village, hosted Algonquin scouts in pairs or trios. The Mongols gathered tribute from government officials throughout conquests and hoarded resources to respond rapidly to invasions. Mingat led the main horde, aided Algonquin troops, and took advanced supply sites in battle, showing the Mongols' rapid and decisive response. Tuman, 10,000 men. Mongol army leader Tumanu Noyad headed a 10,000-man Tuman. Chinggis Khan typically selected powerful Tuman, each comprising 6,000 archers and 4,000 lancers. Along with its humans, a Tuman brought 60,000 horses, 3,000 sheep, 1,000 camels, 1,000 dogs, and 1,000 carts, approximately 100 ordinary jurs, and 10 wagon gurs, usually conscripted from defeated opponents such as Jin China and Texi Exia, held a Tuman, 500 engineers, and skilled laborers. Each Mongolian military and social unit's word matters. The commander of a Tuman, symbolizing 10,000 households and a nation, commanded respect. Subutai, Jeeb, Kabla, and Joan led their Tumans to conquer vast territories, often leading the main horde. Despite their weak fighting strength, the Tumans marched with many horses and support staff, requiring many resources. The most practical Mongol military deployment was at Tumans, where strength and supply were balanced. Chun, 30,000 men. The Mongol army of Chun comprises at least 3 Tumans, demonstrating its size. Each Chun had 30,000 men, including 18,000 horse archers and 12,000 lancers, under a Khan-nominated Orlug, or paladin, forming an unrivaled power. The Orlug usually appointed Tuman leaders, who appointed subordinate commanders. A 3 Tuman Chun had animals, camels, dogs, and carriages in addition to 180,000 horses. We anticipated 253,500 chunks living in hundreds of traditional and wagon gurs, assisted by a massive engineering crew. Pasturage was a major environmental consequence of the Chun, as most were animals. This image of a well-organized deployment doesn't reflect the Mongol army's chaotic and disastrous passage. Army in camp. A full Chun of the Mongol army would typically break up into its component Tumans to ease logistical burdens and enhance maneuverability. As they advanced, they would establish nightly camps, with the commander's tent at the center, surrounded by the rest of the Tumans, likely following their decimal structure. This organization preserved macro-level structure while ensuring easy foot traffic, with each git oriented to the south. Based on our model, a circular Tumet camp would have a footprint of around 0.8 square miles or 2 square kilometers. However, the effective footprint would be significantly extended due to the presence of vast herds grazing in the surrounding areas. Army on the march. When it was time to move, the Mongol army would strike camp upon the pounding of the Nakara drum, symbolizing the Orlug's authority. The drum's beats signaled various stages of preparation. First for the horses, then for striking tents and gathering into formation, and finally the order to move out. In an idealized scenario, the army would march in a radial formation, with the commander at the center, flanked by left and right wings, vanguard and rear guard, with additional units of scouts and patrols extending beyond. The speed of movement was often slow to accommodate the grazing needs of their vast herds and ensure supply elements kept up. Despite their reputation for speed, attributed mainly to flying columns advancing rapidly in smaller numbers, the main force might only cover around 14 miles a day during campaigns. However, in smaller, more agile units, they could achieve impressive speeds of up to 60 miles or more in a single day. Army in battle. The Mongols' methods were destructive and energetic. They could easily switch fronts and outmaneuver opponents in three wings: the Jun Gar on the left, the Kol in the middle, and the Baragun Gar on the right. Riders approached and harassed victims, much like steppe hunters. Horse archers and lancers sprayed arrows in waves, stunning and disuniting the opponent. A fake flight puzzled opponents before a swift strike reversal. Offering a way out often led to frantic flight and destruction. These centuries-old steppe fighting skills made the Mongol army formidable and adaptable, defeating even the best prepared opponents. Thanks for watching. Subscribe the channel and hit the bell icon.